We turn now to the conviction of former officer Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd. In the first TV interview with one of the 12 jurors who found Chauvin guilty, my colleague Robin Roberts sat down with Brandon Mitchell, previously known to us as Juror 52. He told Robin that serving on that jury meant, quote, watching somebody die on a daily basis. And Brandon Mitchell is kind enough to join us tonight. We appreciate you coming on the show, Mr. Mitchell. As you said on Good Morning America, you had to watch and rewatch video of George Floyd dying, and then at the end of the trial, you helped send another man to prison, potentially for decades. I can only imagine the stress and the weight of all of that. What was the emotional toll on you?
It was tough. It definitely took a few days to recover mentally and emotionally once the trial ended. I mean, and then each weekend while the trial was going on, I definitely valued that time away from the trial just for my own mental and emotional health.
And you also said that the judge had instructed you didn't watch the news during the course of the trial. When you were able to tune in, were you at all surprised by the public reaction to the guilty verdict? And was the country's response something that you had been concerned about or preoccupied about while you were deciding Chauvin's fate?
I still have not tuned in to the news. Even with me being on the news all today, I still have not tuned in just because I'm still somewhat decompressing. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to move too quick. But no, I don't feel like there was any pressure or anything like that. Like I said, none of us really paid attention to anything going on outside of the jury room and outside of the four walls of the courtroom.
And you, of course, voted to convict Chauvin. But was there anything at all, any kind of evidence or testimony presented by the defense that ever gave you pause about Chauvin's guilt?
No. I thought their strongest point was just the opening statement, and I just waited for an aha moment the entire time. I was waiting for that moment for them to have some evidence that was just damning and I could just be like, wow, that's that piece of evidence that they maybe could use that can change my mind, but I never seen it.
Take us inside that deliberation room, because I've been a juror before, and you kind of take an unofficial poll when you first sit down just to kind of get the temperature of the room, who thinks this person is guilty or not. Did you guys do something like that? Was there any one at all that you felt at some point we might have to convince this person, or you all were all on the same page right from the beginning?
We definitely had a preliminary poll that we did at first, like a preliminary vote, just to see where everybody was. There was nobody necessarily on the not guilty side, but there was, people that were unsure at the time. And they just needed some more time just to be sure on which way they wanted to go. So we talked it out, and they all came to a consensus. Everybody came to a consensus and was comfortable with the decision that we made.
Anything that surprised you during that deliberation? Any kind of conversation or question?
There was nothing too surprising. I think I was actually most surprised that we were not in and out of there in less than an hour. That was probably the most surprising thing for me.
Because it was a little over 10 hours. And so you're saying really during that time, people were really trying to figure out and come to a conclusion.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page and comfortable with being on the same page and ready to make the decision before we submitted anything. We really wanted to make sure everybody was comfortable.
And lastly, what do you hope comes out of this landmark trial of which you played such a pivotal role? Yeah,
well, I'm really just hoping for some type of change within the policing in America. Black men are being killed at a disproportionate rate by police officers, and I mean that's not what they're supposed to be here for. They're here to protect and serve, and we need to figure out a way to get that going, just the protection and the serving of the communities, and that's it.
Brandon Mitchell, once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the fulfillment of your civic duty. We imagine that it has taken quite a toll, and so we appreciate you.
Yes, I appreciate you all for having me on here today.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.